Hi folks, this is Danny Grondin, and with this video I will try to make two presentations. The first is the obvious presentation about my last project. This is by far my most awesome project so far. And the other point is to make you realize before the end of this video that English is really not my first language. So again, be kind with me. For the best part of the last 20 billions of years, we have been stuck with acid-lead battery that requires maintenance. Since then, in the last decades, AGM and gel battery have been brought to the market. Those improved battery are really more expensive and also heavier. My brand new coach came with two 6-volt golf cart flooded battery made by Interstate, and by the end of the first season I realized that those battery wasn't really meant for my kind of usage, and I was on the path for finding something better. Again, for me there's many reasons why I dislike them both. First, those batteries like to be fully charged at any given time. We have to check water level frequently and the chore of refilling them as needed. And always keep in mind that the sulfuric acid inside can easily burn through the skin pretty badly. Those batteries also need to be vented since they produce gas during the chemical process of charging and discharging. Our compartment have little vents. Those vents are allowing the gas to escape, but also allow insects to creep inside that battery compartment. We have another thing that goes against those batteries is the low total cycle that one can expect from them. If everything is followed very carefully, we can usually have 200 to 300 cycles out of them. One cycle is when you use the battery according to the total amount of amperage the battery pack is rated at. So for our battery pack, it's about 2 to 220 amp hour. Every single time you use your battery to total that amount of amperage, you just lost one cycle, even if you recharge your pack in between the consumption of electricity. Another problem is the fact that ideally you don't want to go below the 50% discharge. Even if the battery is labeled as a deep discharge, going too deep a discharge will lead you to premature wear, represented by sulfation of those battery. More precisely, the sulfation of the metal component inside. Some technology will reduce the sulfation, like our new charger that will help by giving an electrical wave pattern during the recharge and adding a stage that promote dislodging those little sulfate elements. Our solar panel also have a recharge algorithm named equalization that want to help also with that problem. Another problem we have with acid-lead battery is the fact that to get the amount of amperage, meaning the capacity of your battery bank, you want to apply a slow rate of discharge. If you don't do that and apply something like using a cloth iron or a hair dryer at a low setting, you will probably have a fast rate of discharge and won't get anywhere near the amount of amperage those batteries have inside them. Plus, you will likely have boiling the electrolytes. That boiling will most likely get to the top of the battery pack and corrode anything metal touching that liquid. I was experiencing that myself a few times. If this ever happened to you, well, you want to make a deep cleaning with water and sodium bicarbonate to make sure that the powerful sulfuric acid is neutralized. Another problem is the fact that those batteries discharge itself in the environment. So depending on your current location, you will have a slow discharge over the air and over time. If you live in a hot and humid climate, you will experience a faster rate of discharge compared to one that live in a cold and dry environment. Cold environment have another problem because those acid lead battery, as they discharge, will see their acid components transform back to water that can potentially froze over and will expand, breaking the casing of the battery. So in a cold climate, you need to keep those batteries well charged to maintain the liquid in its acidic form in order to have a good low freezing temperature. One of the biggest drawbacks, as far as I'm concerned, is the actual weight. Those bastards are very heavy, and with our sprinters' low carrying capacity, for me this was a constant source of frustration, and for sure I was looking to lose some weight. To put the last nail in the coffin, I really think acid lead battery is a dying species. Too much cons versus the only pro I can think of, the low cost. They are cheap. So getting rid of those acid lead battery was a primary objective. Another drawback concerning the acid lead battery is the fact that they are very slow to recharge. That's why our charger have many stages. They need to follow a certain electrical pressure rule to make sure the chemistry have all the time they actually need to store the electricity. The recharge time was another big irritation. Oftentimes I don't want to use the generator for a longer period of time, and it's an illusion to think that the generator can recharge batteries fast. Owner don't realize how long it takes to fully recharge acid lead battery. At first, trying to find lithium replacement wasn't easy, like at all. The technology seems to be in its infancy, and those owner making it happen was like guinea pigs, making R&D for themselves and having to get some kind of a degree in electricity and chemistry. I was talking to many battery manufacturers. It was obvious that the technology wasn't ready for prime time, and I kept looking for years for an integrated solution that had to come to the market. Some well-known manufacturers have a great solution for lithium, but it's very complicated, very expensive too. This is an example of a solution I was proposed. I then continue researching, sending emails, asking questions for the best part of the last 4 years, and then I find a manufacturer that provides us an easy solution for going lithium. They have incorporated almost everything we need to protect those lithium battery, and they have made a small enough package to just replace our acid lead battery. It's a drop-in replacement. It was very easy to do. Now let's take a look at how it's been done with my own coach. For the installation, we need some cable because our battery bank is wired in series, and those 12-volt lithium need to be wired in parallel. So we need a little jumper cable, since there's already one with our setup. Parallel wiring is one jumper from the positive to positive, and another jumper from the negative post to the other negative post. Before I continue my English babbling, I will let roll a series of pictures displaying the very easy and actual installation. It wasn't that hard, just take your time. If you decide to go all lithium like me, what do you actually need? First, you need to choose a battery. I choose the Battle-Born battery because they have integrated all the hardware needed to be an easy upgrade for what we actually have inside our coach. Those batteries have a built-in BMS, the battery management system, for short circuit. Also over that they have protection for low and high temperature charging. Also they have a very interesting feature of having an automatic cell balancing as well. Plus we can discharge those batteries at a higher rate, up to 100 amps continuously. And there's even a little surge possible of 200 amps up to 30 seconds. The BMS have also the high and low voltage protection. Everything is packaged in about the same footprint compared to what we already have in our coach, and they are very easy to put in place. You just remove the whole battery, they are very heavy, and put back the lithium one, making sure the wire to wire them in parallel instead of series. You also need the jumper cable from the positive to the positive, negative to the negative, and the manufacturer allow us to use a 4-gauge wire, but I think it can be wise to go a little bit thicker, like a gauge number 2 for that little jumper. And then you just make sure you put all the old wire at their intended position, you know, polarity wise. You also have to change the setting for the solar panel. It's very easy to do. If I remember, you hold down the B button and change the program from A1 to 2 or 3. It's the AGM program we choose because that program will skip any equalization stage. After that, you can decide to end your project right here. But for extra credit, and I'm so glad I have done that, I have purchased the little battery monitor made by Victron. That little sucker is just awesome because it provides every information: your consumption, your recharge from any source, or your amp usage. It's really an eye-opener because, you know, it's very hard to realize that everything sips power, and how much power everything sips. Also realizing how slow the actual recharge is when driving the Sprinter or when you use the generator. Pair that little battery monitor with its Bluetooth dongle and the desktop application or smartphone application, and everything become very convenient. You can now access all the metrics of those battery in the palm of your hand wirelessly. It gives all the information necessary to manage your power consumption and also to manage your recharge. So to wrap things up, all I have to purchase to go all the way to lithium is 2 battery from Battleborn Battery, and I purchased the Victron monitor and the little dongle for providing a Bluetooth connection. Let's not forget that little jumper cable. I installed those battery, hook up the little Victron battery monitor, and I'm very, very happy with the results. Just finishing about 9 days of boondocking, cannot be happier. Hopefully this little boring video can help some of you guys who wish to go lithium as well. And I'm very sorry for my English. I struggled my way through this video like all the other one before, and I will try to answer any question you may have. I gather answer from the company, and I ask you to don't shy away and just ask question, and hopefully we will find the answer. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much.